What's up, everybody? It's your boy Matt, also known as Maddie, and welcome back to another video. I haven't made a video like this in a while, but I feel like it's been long overdue, so here is the best gear for everyday use. Now, when it comes to gear, I feel like it's so easy to be trapped into buying more and better gear when in reality, you don't really need probably 80% of the things you see online, especially if you're just making solo content. There's only really a handful of things that you will need. And just in case you're new, hi guys, my name is Maddie. I'm a videographer slash content creator, and I've been doing this for about a year now. I've recorded weddings, club events, concerts, you name it, I've probably recorded it. So yeah, I feel like I know a thing or two when it comes about gear and cinematography, videography, whatever. So before we get into the list, one thing I do want to answer is what camera you should get, what camera do I use, and do you really need an expensive camera to make content? Short answer is no. You do not need a $3,000, $4,000 camera to make good content. All you really need is the phone you have in your hand watching this video, and honestly, it should work out perfectly fine. Now, if you are wondering what camera I use, I'm currently using the Sony a7 IV, and I'm currently recording on the kit lens. This is around a $2,500 setup, so if you are looking to upgrade to an actual camera rather than just using your phone, I do have a recommendation. So if you follow me on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, one of the cameras I always praise, and I will keep praising this until I leave this earth, is gonna be the Sony ZV-E10. Now, the reason I praise this camera so much, especially if you're a beginner and you're looking to try and get into content creation or videography in that matter, is a couple things. One, it's pretty budget friendly. I think brand new with the lens and everything, I think it only costs around 800. I could be wrong, but I definitely know it's under 1,000. This is just the Mark 1. You can go for the Mark 2. The Mark 2 is also really good, but if you're trying to keep it within budget, then just the Mark 1 would be perfectly fine. The next thing is you can pair this with a really good lens. My personal favorite lens for the Sony ZV-E10, or for actually any APS-C camera, is gonna be the Tamron 17 to 70 millimeter. The 17 millimeter is amazing for wide shots, and if you zoom it all the way to 70, it'll give you nice, clean, detailed shots, which honestly I appreciate. It gives you a lot of variety in your shots. And if you pair these two together with the Sony ZV-E10 and the Tamron 17 to 70 mil, you get honestly one of the best budget content creation setups or videography setups if that's what you're into. But yeah, another reason why the Sony ZV-E10 is such a goated camera is because it has S-Log. You can learn how to color grade, and it's super light, it's super compact. This can literally fit in your pocket, and yeah, I couldn't recommend a better camera for beginners than the Sony ZV-E10, especially if you're balling on a budget. So take it from me. Okay, so now jumping back into the list, the first thing I would say that every content creator, every videographer absolutely needs, this is a must, especially if you're making content solo, is going to be a tripod. Now, you probably guessed this. One thing I do recommend is buying a good quality tripod. Reason being is because you're going to be using this every day. There's going to be a lot of wear and tear, especially if you plan to go on like hikes or out in nature, or it might be a lot of wind where your tripod might fall. This is one of the things you should definitely not cheap out on. I have bought cheap tripods before and they broke on me. I recommend investing in a pretty good quality tripod. And yeah, you probably expected this to be on the list. It's probably no surprise, but it's just one of those things that might be overlooked. Now, when you're getting a tripod, I do recommend getting a pretty big tripod. When I say big, something that can shoot pretty high just so you can get top-down shots if you plan to make content like unboxing, or if you just want to try out different angles. That, and obviously just make sure it's sturdy enough so it doesn't obviously fall. Now, the next thing on the list is going to be a good mic. Now, one of my philosophies is that people would rather watch a bad-looking video with a good audio rather than a good looking video with bad audio. Now, I actually only use two mics. One is this Rode mic. I believe this is the Rode Video Mic 2. I could be wrong. If you're interested in any and all gear I use, please look in the description below. It's all there. And yeah, feel free to check it out. Yeah, I like this mic because you just plug it in straight and you don't have to worry about battery life. The other mic I actually use the DJI Mic 2s. Now, these are pretty good wireless mics. I can go pretty far and it'll still reach my voice. If you were to ask me which one you should get, honestly, it all depends on what type of content you're doing. but I would always prefer the Rode mic, the boom mic, something that just goes on your camera. Especially if you're just vlogging, you really don't need a wireless mic unless you plan on talking very far to the camera. I guess you can invest in one, but at the same time, you can just do a voiceover when you're editing. So honestly, if I were recommending you one, I would honestly prefer the Rode mic. Not saying that the wireless mic is useless. It does have its situations and scenarios where I do need it. Less on the content creation side, more on the videography side, especially with the DJI Mic 2. It has internal recording. Basically, what internal recording is that the mic doesn't have to be connected to the camera. It can just be turned on by itself and it will still record the audio, which is honestly super clutch. Especially as a solo videographer, I might be interviewing someone, but then there might be speeches going on in another room, and I can just get the mic, put it on the speaker, and not be worried about missing audio. But both are very good, and I recommend both. Now the next thing I recommend is a very good high quality camera bag. Now I have two that I'm gonna show you. One is really big and honestly you don't really need it unless you plan to like travel a lot and you already have a lot of gear that you want to take with you, then I recommend it. But if you don't have a lot of gear, the other bag will be perfectly fine. So here, let me show you. Alright, so this is the first bag. This bag is from K&F Concept, and honestly this bag is a beast. Now I think this bag was around $100. I think I'll put the price up on screen if I'm not correct. And honestly, if you're planning to travel with a lot of gear, or you just want a bag that's big enough to not only hold your camera but other things, this camera bag is honestly goated. Now the reason I say that is because it holds a lot of things, as I mentioned before. And not only that, if you're someone like me who owns a 16-inch MacBook Pro, this can literally fit inside, and honestly, it makes life so easy when traveling. That, and there's a little place here so I can attach my tripod to the bag and I can have my hands free. So yeah, honestly, this bag does come in clutch. I would recommend this bag a lot to anybody. And now the next bag I have is a lot smaller, but just because it's a lot smaller doesn't mean it's not as good. And that is gonna be this green sling bag from Think Tank. Now this bag is really small compared to the other one I just showed you. But if you're looking for something kinda low-key that doesn't draw too much attention and it doesn't say I have a camera, this is probably the bag to go. It just looks like a regular sling bag when you put it on. And honestly, if it's all the essentials, camera, mics, extra batteries, filters, if you have any wallet keys, AirPods. Yeah, honestly, I love this bag. I love it. And yeah, they just make life easier rather than just having to hold a lot of gear in my pocket. And the next and final piece of gear, this is probably going to be the most expensive thing that I have on this list. It's going to be a MacBook. Now, if you already have a MacBook, or if you have a laptop, PC, whatever you have, and it's really good on editing, and you don't need this. But the only reason why I am recommending this is because when I did start content creation and videography, I already had the camera, I already had the lens, I already had the mics, and everything was going good. The only thing that made it really hard to make content or to make videos was editing, because the old laptop I used to have couldn't handle the way I edited. And back in the day, I wasn't editing like no crazy effects, no 3D graphics. I was just trying to edit 4K video. And even at that, my laptop was super slow. It made content creation not fun at all. And just the thought of me having to edit the video would just turn me off. And when I did invest into a MacBook Pro, this is the M4, it made everything 10 times easier. It made life easier, it made editing more fun, and it just made content creation more fun. And I just didn't feel as much resistance when it came to just making videos, and it was a lot easier. Honorable mention is batteries, whether that is a V-mount battery like this or just regular batteries for your camera. One thing that sucks is just running out of battery when you're trying to shoot content. And yeah, honestly, that's about it though. As I said before in the video, if you're looking for all the gear I use, please check out the description below. Feel free to check it out. And if you're wondering how I color grade my videos, the description below, that's all there. I use the Enhancer. Use code Maddie for 10% off. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Keep creating.